Hmm. So those exercises last week, incredible.
Pretty vase, huh?
Beige, you said?
Pretty vase.
So
Referencing the
your
Chinese
desire to get
vase.
more nuancing because just saying pretty vase when someone hasn't worked with jade implies it's like casting pearls before swine.
Yes.
And it's a desire to eke out more nuance from my,
You say, what am I supposed to glean from the fact that you're going exercise? How does that inform me about where you are, what you see, what your level of experience is,
Mhm.
what your vocabulary is, what your skill set is? If you walk up to that vase and you look at it, you say, that must have taken him 15 freaking years. And that's with power tools. I know something about you. If you say that's pretty, I
Mhm.
also know something about you.
Wow.
Difficulty, I
Um,
think, in most of your life, you're trying to get people to smile at you. You're not trying to show up as an expert in anything. You're not looking for fellowship of your skill sets.
Fellowship of my skill sets.
Yep. People who are archers like to talk to other archers. People who build supersonic bombers like to talk to other people who build supersonic bombers. Out of all the possible areas of expertise these people have chosen, they've chosen this. It's
Yeah.
not necessary to talk to other people, but if you want to hone your craft, if you're an archer, you don't want to talk to supersonic,
Yeah.
bombers.
Where do I find allies or peers in adjacent markets or
You have.
peers?
How do you show up so you and I walk in, we don't know each other. You and I walk into the art exhibit. You could say that's pretty, or you could say out loud, holy shit. That's one piece of art that took 15 years. There may not be any other lapidary people around you
What are what's lapidary?
working with gemstones and things like that.
Okay.
Artist. There may be nobody around you who speaks that kind of language, but if there is, they'll pick up on it. It's your everyday activity. It's how you're modeling yourself. It's how you're showing up. It's the language you use.
And I signal that in every room I walk into.
Yep.
And ways to signal or find other people who are doing what I'm doing as a
If
lapidary
you
in
walk
this
in,
case is
yes, you have to figure it out. If you walk into a room and you're wearing an exquisitely tailored shirt, okay, people who know clothing are going to look at it and go, whoa, what is that? Then they're going to look at it to see if it's handmade or not,
mm,
whether this is just a high end off the rack shirt or whether somebody made it. And then they will probably come if it's a fine enough quality, they will probably come over and ask you questions about it. People come up to you and ask you questions about how you're showing up in the world.
imagine I'm in a jewelry store and I'm selling my wares.
Hmm.
And I catch their eye with things
Hmm.
like talking about medicine work or transformational living incubators.
If you think that is the thing that is going to that indicates what that's the signifier that you think is going to demonstrate your competencies. I come into a room, I start hitting people with baseball bats. Most of them run screaming from the room. That's a lot of black and red tile. Of course, given the setup, I bet you they're highly functional of some kind. And it looks like there's a used condom on his mic. Oh no, that's something over a chair over there.
That
Okay, so
is
what happened?
the second chair.
What happened there, Alton? What was the signifier I threw out 3 signifiers there.
Mm-hmm.
One was the noticing just the black and red. He didn't respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I said they must have some, mechanical use to it. He didn't respond to that. Then I made the joke about the used condom over his microphone, and he's going, "What the fuck?" And then he looks at the thing, looks at the screen, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's what that chair looks like. It looks like it could be seen as my microphone coming up over here, and there's a used condom coming off of it." And he laughed. So he's giving me signals that that's part of him. Does that make sense, Sultan?
That's part of him, that he's
Yeah.
able to see what you see in this like particular facet of this gem that you're
No,
admiring.
not that he knows. He knows what I'm talking about with the black and red tiles. He knows that they're acoustic tiles. He didn't respond to those, but he responded to the dark humor.
Mm.
And he still has that smile. And in my meaning making, that's like, oh, somebody saw that in me, called it forth, and that doesn't happen very often. And he likes it because that's a part of him that, given his environment, probably doesn't get to come out and play very often.
Mm.
Is complete shots in the dark. It may not even be his studio, Alton. I don't know that.
Mm-hmm. It's not complete shots in the dark. Come on, Grant. Like you're.
Well, it's kind of.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing that I could point to and say this is what it is. I take something very noticeable, black and white checkers. They could be of any color, but they're black and they're red. And if you don't know what they are, you're like, that's a really if that's art, he has really poor taste. Okay. But if you look at them and you know what they are, they're acoustic tiles. So now he knows that I know what acoustic tiles are. Now he's either a ferocious wannabe or they actually serve some purpose.
Mm.
And he's still having fun.
Both.
All right. And just to be clear, I'm sick. I'm going to stay as long as I can. I have my little thing of Hall's things here. So,
Oh, thanks for that context.
yeah.
I'm gonna greet a friend. Wow. Wow. I feel. I wanted to make what you shared runnable. So I walk into a room
What?
and I see there are like signifiers that other people are displaying. I comment on these signifiers, I bracket several of them, seeing which ones land in them or evoke a smile or whatever flavor dance I want to have with them. When I
Yep.
find one that strikes a chord as evidenced by their smile or some juice that they express,
Or they
then
throw a glass of wine on you.
you like double down on that, or you
You back off a little bit. You smile. Even if
Okay.
it's a $300 shirt, you don't get upset
Yeah.
by it. And you make
Beautiful.
whatever they did attractive.
Okay. maybe I commit, but I would definitely want to hear Jeff's words too.
Jeff, what do you got?
I want enlightenment.
Why?
Uh, Sunk cost.
What?
I've I've been at it for long enough that the original why is gone, and I just want to finish.
No, don't stop it.
Don't finish?
No, fuck that. Being enlightened is a crock of shit.
Yeah, I know, but that's I still got to finish.
No, you don't.
I don't have
kn-
to.
But why would you? If you, I have to eat this whole crock of shit. I must ingest it all. I can understand when I was 12 when somebody told me that this was the biggest pony on the planet. If you got this, you could have the biggest star. And now that you realize that it's a bunch of crap, why do you put the shit down? Walk away. Be a human being. Enjoy yourself or not. I don't care.
Hmm.
So the basic question, Jeff, have you ever met an enlightened person that you'd want to have ferocious sex with? No, you haven't. All the ones that claim to be enlightened, you're like, I wouldn't touch that with your dick. All right. Why would you want to be that? Why did you get in there? You're here as a human being. If you believe in the reincarnation stuff, fine. Experience it. Dive into the fullest. Jeff, you're smart enough to know that all that samsaric stuff is all crap. Being good is just another samsaric state.
Hmm.
If you're believing that you have to do the good things, you're just tying yourself to the wheel more deeply.
Right.
Okay. If you really want to be enlightened, seriously, go find a Dzogchen person and get ready to have a prolapsed asshole. You want the quick way there, go find a real Dzogchen. There's a guy up in, I think, Seattle area. I have a great deal of respect for him, not for his school, but for the work he does. Fine.
Did you do it?
He and I had a few altercations.
Did you get into enlightenment?
No, I refuse. Why? It's like, have you become a paraplegic yet? No. But you won't ever have to worry about what to do with your arms or your legs anymore. I'm like, what?
You're likening enlightenment to becoming a paraplegic.
Yes, it's cutting you off from being human. It's a very rarefied state. If you like rarefied states, that's fine. You don't get any brownie points.
No.
Nothing. Suffering is bullshit. You can let that go anytime you want with some practice. You still have to chop wood, carry water. You're still going to age. You're still going to get decrepit. You know, you being a male, your prostate is going to blow up, and yeah. Jeff, you are not a better thing by becoming enlightened. That's another culture, another time. Your job here is to have the life that you want to have. And if that's being enlightened, go for it. I don't recommend it.
How do you know not to recommend something you haven't been to?
I can recommend not doing pedophilia without having done it. All the signs that I can see, I'm like, I don't want that. The only one who claimed to be enlightened, Trungpa, and he was crazy. He's the only one I looked at and I said, that looks interesting. But again, he came up through a very, very narrow culture. And if you really want to follow him, it's better to be born Tibetan. About 50 years ago.
If you had a vision for a new school or a new movement, how would you articulate that, Gray?
How to become more fully human. There's two aspects: own all of your chakras and self-identification with your primal character. That's it. And looking at Jeff, how comfortable is he in his 7 chakras? Not much, but hey, he's talented. He's got a good speaking voice. He has a kick-ass microphone.
I'm practicing being more in my chakras and the other thing that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. And I would sit you down of a feminine, and I would have you try to sell her about your competencies. Or masculines, or I don't know, a hedgehog if that's where you swing. Your opinion about where you are, Jeff, matters not much.
Right. So sell her on my competencies and be like, okay, right now I have more of my attention in lower chakras, and then
As demonstrated by what?
right.
Rocks are hard, water is wet. You can talk to anybody can talk the talk. Hello, Ryan.
Master Greymont.
Oh, fuck off. Master Greymont. Jesus.
Okay, great. How do we get to world peace from here?
Oh, God. You give everybody fucking 10 milligrams of Valium every day. We're an animal species, for God's sakes. You think world peace? What do you really think that looks like?
Inner peace, or at least an access to it?
It's not in. Oh, God. Why do you guys see? This is the result of these goddamn Buddhists. And they're pointing to certain spokes on the wheel, and they're saying, these are the good ones. You should want these. And I'm like, excuse me, why? Those are just as much illusion as the other ones. Why are you singling those out? If you're telling people that if you do those, that they're going to get to heaven quicker, you're just tying them more solidly to the freaking wheel. It's not about inner peace. It's about inner human. It's being okay with what it is to be human. We're animals, Alton. We have anger. We have rage. We have dark stuff. We will fight. We will claw. Not all the time.
Yeah, well, I think we get to all those places once you get inner peace first. That's how I have it.
The Buddha would probably argue that only through acknowledgement of those places can inner peace be found. I don't think the Buddha would disagree with what Cray's saying.
And here we have Ryan, a Buddha expert. First trick, Ryan, never quote the coach. Let the truth be yours. If you have the balls to say that, let it be Ryan's truth. Don't quote the coach. It's demeaning.
Meaning to
Ryan. He's
Oh.
quoting an external authority figure instead of being the authority figure. Daddy says, Mommy says. As if Ryan knows what the Buddha would say. Jesus Christ. Really? Seriously? Harpo Marx would say.
Isn't it helpful to
because-
reference a school of thought that you
What?
are weighing so people can weigh it accurately in their own belief sets?
Look at the evidence. Judge it by the evidence. Ignore me. Listen to the words. Listen to how they sound. Follow the logic. Ignore your
context.
feelings about it.
I have to go. I'll be back in an hour. Okay.
Oh, you're done at 5:30. Okay, got it.
I'm done at five
Oh, I
thirty,
see.
so I can catch you for the last 30.
Love that.
Namaste, Ryan. Ah, God. Hello. Yes, Jeff.
You're not in Puerto Rico anymore?
No, I mean, freaking, it's too goddamn hot there. Sun hits you like a ton of bricks. I can't go outside. Jane can't go outside. What's the point?
Oh, right. You're also taking those longevity things too.
Gotta stay out of the sun.
And just starting the
Are we done?
So I'm gonna find a well, yeah, I'm gonna get a woman. I'm gonna practice with the I'm going to yeah,
Where are you, Jeff?
where am I?
On the planet, physically.
Oh, Edmonton in Alberta, Canada.
In Alberta? Oh, fuck, I don't know anybody up in Alberta.
Ah,
Hey, get hold of Michaela. Ask Alton for how to get hold of her. And tell her that you just want 15 as a favor to Cray, would she talk to you for 15 minutes? And you tell her what you think about your chakras and you listen to what she has to say.
Mm.
Record it. Make sure you tell her you want it brutally.
Mm.
If she starts doing the corgi, slap her, and then run for your life.
okay.
Alberta, Jesus Christ.
unrelated to this last talk. I'm interested in how you relate to gatekeeping communities.
What? Who? Me?
Yeah. Like if someone shows up regularly as someone who is a defector from community values, to what extent do you like warn other people who are new to the community about that person?
I would put it all out there in front. I would let the person know that you're warning other people about them. And I would even, if I were you, I would write it up. This is what I am sharing with other people about what I think is a concern here. It's not open for negotiation. This is what I'm telling them.
Yeah.
There are consequences for your actions. Grow up, people.
And to what extent do you also like anyone who is complicit in that entity, you also have to ostracize depending on how severe the
Yep.
okay.
I wouldn't ostracize. I would bang. What do they call it when they make you leave a country? Exile.
Sounds pretty strong.
Sure. Yep. Geronimo. Jesus. Oh, Lord help me. This is why I'm hiding in the panhandle. That's not Geronimo.
I wanted to debrief also some of the past week with Italy's. And I'm also interested in how this is for Jeff and also. I'm gonna message Brandon.
Hey, Delisa. On a scale of 1 to 100, how grounded are you? Hmm?
Maybe like 40, 50.
So why are you here then? Why aren't you taking care of yourself? Why aren't you getting yourself back in a place that is stable for you? You can't grow. You can't do any of the amazing things that you can do, Hadelise. You can't do, I think, unless you're up in the 70s.
Mhm.
So why are you following somebody else's not knowing instead of your own?
Okay. I wanted
really-
to play.
I
I gotta do
here.
my homework first.
up here, Hadalise. I don't. May I? I don't think you want to play. You want to be loved.
Okay, great. I'm gonna hop on.
Good. Amazing. Hi, Alton.
Wanting to be loved on what signifiers?
Hitties?
I don't understand.
It's a human thing. If I told Jeff, all you really want to do is be loved, what do you think his reaction is going to be? If I told Alton, all you want to do is be loved, what do you think? Yeah, that fluttering of your eyelids. Yep, that's what you'll do. Okay. If I tell her that, she's raw enough. She's at 40. That's pretty freaking raw.
Mm-hmm.
She can feel that. She can feel that as a wounded child, and she can use that as an angry young woman who hasn't found anybody capable of dancing with her in that realm. My opinion.
Version of me that I could be to show up and support her in being that clearing to be loved.
You can't. You're not fierce enough.
Fierce enough.
She need, in my opinion, again, remember, this is all opinion. In my opinion, she has a lot of fire. Okay.
Mhm.
And she's not going to feel comfortable unless she's with somebody who has displayed that they have a bigger fire than she has and they haven't hurt her. She'll then feel safe showing her fire. And then
Yeah.
we get to move on.
And then we get to move on.
Yep.
To other areas.
That's a way station. That's like a 1/3 of a portrait being done.
Wow. Beautiful.
I think she's amazing. Yeah.
How do I hone myself and others in our community to be fluent with that flavor of fire?
You have to practice being fiery. You have to go back, and the theory is as children, we all had bad things happen to us. Okay. And we all had to put away our rage. And little kids get rageful. And so all of us have to go back and reclaim that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to figure out how you're going to dance with it as an adult, because you sure as hell don't want to dance from a 6-year-old's point of view.
Beautiful.
Pretty
Oh,
vase.
the way you impact her.
Pretty vase. How did I impact her? Let's play with your nuances. Let's see what you can see in that glass case.
I'm outing information that is not mine.
In your observations of her, what did you see as a result of my dancing with her?
Evoking her humanness through welcoming a broader range of the human emotional spectrum. So intensity right now through.
You could say that about Jeff too.
I have experience. Jeff is a very intense state right now.
Oh, he is. He's got it covered in black and red sound absorbent tiles, but it's there. What's the cartoon of how she came on, she danced with me, and she left? Make up a fanciful cartoon of what you think you saw there. Was she eating a kumquat? Did she feel like I punched her in the face?
Punched her in the heart, in the feelings.
Yeah, punched.
Just like a kickstarting of emotion, yeah.
Yeah, so given its hey Elise, what does that look like?
I feel like I need a tread
Yeah,
carefully.
that. Yes, exactly. Okay, so good. So there you go, Alton. That you have to look that when you have that image in your mind and you see it and you look down in shame and shyness, that's not a good modeling for the kind of community that you want to have. I'm not saying say it here. That
Yeah,
might blow a gasket.
I feel protective.
Yep. They're taking their smallness again?
It's like a trust that she's sharing something with me that I don't know if she wants broadcast.
Mm-hmm. So if in the future this ever happens again, don't talk about it at all.
Great, I love mystery.
If you want the people around you to treat you in a certain way, don't mention to anybody that you're holding a confidence. Just don't say it. Don't broadcast the fact that there's a confidence. I don't want to tell everybody about Jeff and the pigeons. No matter what happens, whoever's seeing this is now looking at Jeff, and there are now pictures of pigeons and what he's doing with them in their head. Okay. Can't help it.
Yeah. Well, and so the people who have enough relatedness with him or me will be like, wow, what's that thing about pigeons? I also have this thing about pigeons. They're like,
No. If Jeff wants to bring up pigeons, let him do it. If you're holding somebody else's confidence, don't say anything about it.
okay.
Jeff Bezos told me I couldn't tell you about the stock options. You haven't blown a gasket yet, Jeff. It's all those hours on the goddamn cushion.
You want me to blow a gasket?
No. I don't think it'd be very productive.
Okay.
If you were 15 years younger, it might be kind of entertaining, but
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm close to blowing a gasket.
good. Oh no.
You often say, oh no, before they can hear your audio, Gray.
Good. Up.
I'm still taking issue with your frame around secret sharing. I think secret sharing is what keeps communities like intact. And you need to have people who, like you said, can signal that they're lapidary without.
No. The first part about keeping a secret is that nobody knows you're keeping a secret. Because now that they know there's something in confidence, they're already doing the pigeon exercise. They're already imagining what it could possibly be. So
Mhm.
that's now in the space.
Yeah. I imagine there's something like bad or wrong.
Bad or wrong or sexual or insider trading or something bad.
Mhm.
And that's now in the space. So the next time that Jeff meets Hada Lease, he's going to be looking at her, and in his mind is going to be like, there's a secret that you and Alton are sharing that he didn't feel comfortable revealing about you. I wonder what that could be.
No, I place secrets as value significantly positive. Huh. I guess like it's a form of intimacy dance for me.
It
The
is.
more I share, it's like the more clothes are being taken off.
What was that? Sorry.
Secret sharing is a form of intimacy for me. That's what I'm realizing.
Yes.
Your secrets, though, right?
That's probably both. And the difficulty is that you also see having secrets as a form of power, specialness. And so you like people knowing that you have lots of secrets. Other people have shared with you lots of secrets.
A form of trust and relatedness. Yeah, it's like a proof of work that you're
Yeah.
high integrity.
Yep. And to me, that's integrity from outside the relational dance. The integrity from within the relational dance is, how did Jeff find out that I there was something that I didn't want people to know about in the hang and I asked you not to talk about? And you're like, well, he doesn't know what it is. And she's going to be like, but he knows that there's something.
It's like the opportunity for her to choose to share or not at that time too. To see
I
how
know,
much
but it wasn't her choice. You're forcing her into that position. You're
I make up
saying
that
there are
she likes
naked pictures
being
of her to
in
be
that type of
had.
position.
That's fine. That's another dance.
Being pursued is one of the most yummy dances, I imagine.
Only if you're being pursued by something intelligent.
Yeah, it's a pre-selection mechanism.
Somebody who's pursuing you for a secret that you shared with Alton. Why would you want to dance with that person?
Because of the wealth of results that arrive in people's lives. The same way with you.
Right? You can see I'm sitting in front of a wall.
Mm. You're I see what Gray's saying. They're playing to a small miss because you're assuming that she wouldn't do that when she wanted to or something.
I don't understand.
You're making the choice for her because she's too small to do it on her own.
No, I'm just not as resourced at that time. And I'm supporting her as a bridge to make it easier for her to be met by others that she's desperately desiring. I'm offering that bridge an extended hand in the face of no agreement. Gray, your coaching with Natalie and Colin last week was also very effective. And having a vision document outlined was beautiful.
You're assuming I remember this. Oh, the nature guys.
Nature guides. Wow.
Got the one guy wanted to go out and do exercises out in nature. Is that who you're talking about? That couple?
They were eager to go out into nature to do exercises. I don't know if that's what I recall from last week, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. When I heard that, I tuned out.
Because that's not part of the whole human experience.
No, because that's not what's going to make a Navy SEAL team.
What would make a Navy SEAL team?
If they're concentrated on doing something about pushing some boundaries, it's not about what feels pleasant.
How would what
They-
are the signifiers of them pushing boundaries?
I don't know. I don't even know what they do.
How do you push boundaries?
How do I push boundaries? I talk to people about their acoustic tiles. I try to show them how what they think of as keeping secrets isn't keeping secrets. I try to take people's cherished beliefs about themselves and show them to be how I don't know. I would use a bunch because I'm sick. I would use a bunch of nasty words to describe that, but I won't.
So you play the Heyoka, you invert people's sacred
Very much.
figures.
I prefer coyote than heyoke. Heyokes are still too human.
Too human. I thought it was about being fully human.
The activity is the activity of a coyote. A coyote is the one that brings change to cultures. Heyokes are still within the culture.
What?
I mean, what?
Tell me more about coyotes and how
There's
they
a book.
change the culture.
There's a book called Coyote Makes the Universe or something like that. It explains it in exquisite detail. Coyotes are edge dwellers. They're always telling you to do the blasphemous thing.
Hmm.
Or ask you to consider the blasphemous thing. I think it's on my website as one of the suggested readings.
How can I turn up the temperature or volume of like coyoteness or the listening of that in my community?
You have to stop taking yourself so goddamn seriously. You have to stop believing that you know what's going on. You have to be willing to eat eggs every morning if you can't stand eggs. It's coyote is an archetype. And the difficulty, Alton, is that most of these things that you're talking about by your community is for them to be effective, you have to embody them. You have to model them.
Mhm.
They're not just they can be interesting ideas to play with, to talk about. But if you're actually trying to embody them, they have to be modeled. I can sit here until Jeff sees me doing something coyote-ish.
Mhm.
He's just going to think I'm another talking head. If he was paying attention, I would imagine that what I did with Hadelise, he's like, what the fuck happened there? Why did she smile at the end? Why did she look extremely satisfied? But I don't know how well he carves Jade.
I read you as seeing her and giving her what she wanted.
Yeah, but seeing her, you could say that about anybody. You're not displaying any nuance. You could say
Oh, I see.
you could say that in any interaction that I have with the feminine or somebody who identifies as feminine,
Right.
You can say what you just said. It
Right.
shows me that you're not paying attention to what Hadelise is. She's an abstract. She's a woman, female, feminine, whatever it is.
So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try again and be wrong again. You saw that she said, "I'm here to play," but you saw what I
What did I
kind
say
of saw as
first?
pain underneath.
What did I say
You
first?
said you're not resourced enough to be here.
No. I said how on a scale of 1 to 100,
Right. You asked her
how
first.
grounded are you? So what I did is I gave her the option of naming.
Hmm.
I didn't come across as the external authority figure, though if I'm asking that question, there's something going on. So she named it. Now, most feminines in this culture tend to ignore the reality of themselves because they're out there doing the masculine performance thing.
Okay. You had her name her reality.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
A lot of the adolescent masculines love being brilliant diagnosticians. Doesn't work really well with the feminines.
Right. There's no reason to. You can just ask.
Yep. Well, there's a reason to, because people do it all the time. Because they think it's value positive to be a great diagnostician. These aren't bugs. These are features.
You're talking about being a diagnostician is a feature.
Everything that you think of as wrong that happens in a patterned way is not a bug. It's a feature.
How?
Because there's a stronger part of any human that's doing that says this is the most important thing that needs to be done.
Okay.
La-di-da.
Rick, can you share more about how the majority of your dance partners that you enjoy fieriness with have entered your life?
You don't. They hear stories about me, they come and check it out.
On
They
hangs?
don't. Yeah. Hangs or personal invites or I did dojos in Boulder for 2 or 3 years, whatever it was.
How can I explore fire in T groups?
It depends on which T groups. There's Crystal, do you know her?
Crystal and Dylan.
Crystal Dion. Yeah.
She led one with
She's
Colin, Natalie, and myself, and others.
If you want to play weird T groups, she's the one that I know about to do. And so there's within the structure of within the rules and regulations of T group, there shouldn't be any problem with being fiery. The difficulty is people get triggered by it. And people use the fieriness as an excuse to be bashing.
Yeah.
Same thing in circling.
How do you nuance
There's no
bashing to
reason.
be more fiery? That's a beautiful notice.
There's a thing if you're talking about yourself and you're talking about what's happening and you're saying when you do that, there's like 10% of your energy pointing at whatever it was. When you say that, when you do that, when you sit like that, when you blah, 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 this is what happens in me. And if you keep it focused on you, that's fine. That's T group. But when you start going over there, you start saying, because I'm feeling like this, I need to interact with you in a certain way. That's when it starts to get bashing. People feel threatened. You know, people's trauma history comes up.
Hmm.
Ooh.
When their trauma history comes up, how do you dance with that?
Stop everything.
And
When it really comes up, if they think that, if they're saying, "Oh my goodness, this reminds me of my father used to beat me with the poker," then it's like, "Oh, really? So would you like to excuse yourself from this circle, or would you like things to change?" When I hear you say that, I feel unclarity in me. Headline: I don't know what you want to have happen here.
thanks.
So I'm experiencing this now as I'm letting fire back in, but I'm not doing like adolescent things where I bashed people.
Have you ever bashed people?
Not physically.
Okay, so from over here in this philosophy, you need to go find the easiest thing to do is go buy a big punching bag, fill it with sand, wrap it in a piece of rug, kneel in front of it, put it on the ground, kneel in front of it, and beat it until rage consumes you. That's the easiest thing. You can get, there's also rage rooms. You need to find theoretically, you want to go back. Your kid put a let's there again, theoretically, hypothesizing, your kid put away rage when it was like 6, 7, 8. Because when it did the rage thing, daddy beat the shit out of it, or mommy cried, or your brother pissed all over you. I don't know what it was.
Mm.
Right? But you locked it away. So there's been rage, but it's a 6-year-old's rage. And it's the 6-year-old meaning making. But you can't get to the adult version until you go back and
No.
claim it. So you have to find some way of putting yourself in some situation that triggers that, and you have to let it out and let it be completely the kid, and you get to hold the container for that.
Okay.
You
Cool.
say whatever the kid wants to say, you scream, you do whatever. And usually it's like 3 speed bumps. Once the child consciousness understands that you can hold the container for this, that it doesn't have to pack it away, or horrible things don't happen to you. Don't go do this at a police station or at a KKK rally or a meeting of feminists or something. And then you can start saying, okay, so there is this lake of passion. How do I want to use that as an adult? And that adult stuff isn't buried in you somewhere. You have to make it up.
Right. Okay. And the 3 speed bumps you mean is like 3 times the kid has to see that I'm capable of holding this space or something.
Yep. And that means he gets to do basically whatever the frick he wants, say whatever he wants to say. Okay. It's very helpful if you have a witness.
Okay.
Because then forevermore, the kid gets to see that this other person, not you, is actually seeing this.
Okay.
And it's it can be quite the thing, because when kids have emotional reactions, small children, their entire bodies get involved. As adults, we don't do that. So the first time that you get engulfed in child rage, it can be an insanely scary thing. Or hate or love or anything that you've locked away.
Ah.
How would you do it with love?
You put yourself in a situation where love should arise. Now, that was with me. I got horribly abused in the name of love. So anytime love came near me, I'm like, get the fuck away from me. So you have to set up places where the response is love, either coming at you or arising from within. And you have to handle that.
How will you know when you've had it?
When you can When you can go into the same triggering event and you can tell that rageful kid, sit down, I'm handling this. And it's still going on inside you. You have two different levels of consciousness. Okay. You have the child consciousness that's like, "Ah!" And you're like, "Oh, really? You think so? I can see your point. Yeah. I'm going to have to think about this. I'll get back in touch with you tomorrow. The trick is not to deny that it's happening.
You believe, I mean, okay, that's definitely a big challenge area for me.
Mhm.
Consistently difficult to accept what seems like just not reality-based stories.
Yep. They're not real to you. They're real to the kid. When I was doing inner child work, the giraffe raped me on the third floor. Wait a minute. We've only lived in ranch houses my whole life. We've never had a 3-star. It's not important. What's important is the emotionality, the thing that got locked away. Kids make meaning of all kinds of things. You're not looking to say, wait a minute, you said it was Thursday, and according to the documentation here, it was on a Tuesday. You're interested in getting to the emotional reality that you've locked away.
How can I take a strong interest in that when I often get triggered myself about people misremembering things?
What?
I want to be interested in their childhood trauma, but I notice I'm simply not most of the time, and I find myself very dismissive and uninterested.
Well, yeah, so that's something. What have you, in that instance, what do you think you've locked away?
What do I think I blocked away, you said?
Locked away. Jeff comes up to you and he says, oh my God, my inner children this, my inner children that, la 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 la. And you're like, I think I need to go brush my teeth right now. Theoretically, what are you avoiding?
I don't want to be a trauma dumping site.
Think like a 6-year-old.
I mean, it's just, I would feel uncomfortable in my nervous system when people enmesh with stuff that's not mine to carry.
Gee, I wonder what that was like for you as a kid.
Well, I mean, terrifying.
I know. So you have to get past the terror of it. So the next time that Jeff comes up and says, I would want to tell you about, you fall to the floor, you scream like a small child, get it off me, I don't want to do this, stop it, I don't care, no way, stop messing with me, I don't want to hear this, stop it. Whatever it is. And then on the other side of it, you're like, oh, this is probably a pathologized view of intimacy with others. And I don't know this, Alton. I'm just making this up right now. But if you were emotionally incested and it didn't go well when you were a kid, then anything that reeks of that
Right.
to your child, you're going to want to avoid.
Yep.
Now, if you're emotionally
Very great.
incested and it went well,
Well, I think it was both.
well, then great. You're more complicated than the average chimpanzee, and you get to work both sides of it.
And I get to what?
Work both sides of it.
The deliberate practice reps you'd suggest for this part?
Yep. What? Figure it out, Alton. Come on.
Microdose trauma dumping sessions.
Set yourself up a situation that you're going to be dismissive of. I need to go brush my teeth and fall to the ground and act out the childhood. Try to get in touch with what do you think? And again, I'm just pretending. If your mother emotionally incested you, that means that she's telling you things that no child should. She's talking about her sisters. She's talking about her husband. She's talking about her mother. She's talking to you about things that you should not be listening to, that are way beyond your ken. But you think it's your job to listen to mommy in a particular way, even though it feels really freaking weird and doesn't feel good, whatever. So how do you set yourself up with a mommy figure, hate Elise, whoever, who's going to now tell you these things. And you have to find the emotions that you think happened to you as a child.
I identify the emotions that happened to me as a child.
Yeah, how did your child react to emotional incest? One side, I mean, me with my sexual abuse, okay? There's the part that's like, oh my God, they're doing horrible things to me. And there's a part of me strutting around like a peacock because I'm the only white kid in this whole thing. Everybody wants me. So there's two sides to the coin. Oh, Jeff looks like he's been hit in the head with a 2x4.
Yeah, I'm playing with my reactions to you, I guess. Like I guess, yeah, not I guess. I'm playing my reactions to create that are my teacher reactions that are like,
Oh.
yeah, and letting them in the way you're describing, letting them be here, but not as loudly as you're saying.
Don't take actions based on them.
Do you feel troubled, Jeff?
No, I don't feel troubled. I mean, I can feel the conditioning, but I don't.
When you scrunch your face when I've been speaking, is that like, do you feel unease?
I don't feel uneasy. There might be sometimes impatience.
What about other times?
They have to ask me in real time.
We're going to put you under the searchlight and we're going to ask you questions about what's happening with you. Because we can.
I'd be curious about Jeff's experience. I want to get his world.
You're going to hear his story about it. How do you
Uh,
know he's telling you anything factual?
yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'm not interested. I get to then masochistically be entertained and battered around by his childhood trauma stories.
Oh, yay. Great.
Well, Colin and Natalie, if you can hear me. I also wanted to have some of this time for you guys.
Or not. 58 minutes, guys. I'm going to make it. I may have to eat 3 or 4 more of these goddamn cough drops, but going to make it. Looks beautiful out your window, Alton. Looks like the Northwest. But it's freaking California.
They're trying to figure out how to turn their audio and video on. Okay.
Ah, so it's not just an old man problem. Da-da-da. Okay, let's go over to Facebook and we'll type in Alton's name and see if anybody said anything interesting.
I'm interested in the stats behind
You're still
the
in
service.
Hmm?
I'm interested in
What?
the restream service. I think significantly reduces viewership.
Oh,
Oh, Max is here. That would be juicy too.
ooh, Axios is there.
What?
Axios wrote a comment. He's into teeth.
Yeah. Huh. Welcome, Max.
Hey there, good
Hey,
evening.
he looks like a Max.
Feel a little modest. I'm gonna put the shirt on.
It's a nice shirt too.
Mhm.
Jeff.
Hello, yeah, hello everyone.
Oh,
Hello,
stop
Jeff.
it. Jeff, always wear a button-down shirt. Never show up on a t-shirt again. That's a nice fucking shirt. Jesus. I have a fondness for African prints. So,
Hmm.
what do you want, Max?
Um, I think I have just about everything I want right now. Um,
All right. Then never mind.
um, what do you want, Trey?
I would like to get a taste of Max, but since he's playing Faye, it doesn't interest me anymore. You look like you were interesting. You have a great face. You have a good. Somebody's paying attention to how you show up with your face. You have a nice shirt. Background's eh. But if you want to play coy, I'm not interested.
Mm.
You said just. You have just about everything. So if we were in the little magical fairy realm, and Craig could actually help you get what you wanted, but the onus is on you because unless you can name it, I can't do shit.
Mm.
Or I could, but
Yeah. Um,
magic with masculines usually doesn't work very well. Takes you out of the competitive zone. Feminines respond
well,
really well to it.
um, well, and Craig, we've met before. I like once or twice, maybe like almost like 2 years ago. I jumped in a room. Um, but so I have some like presumptive trust, and so one thing I'm feeling into is sharing the sharing the next like um a little bit of where I'm at and what I'm facing,
Just
what
tell me
I'm
what you
intent.
want. I don't care where you think you're at, for God's sakes. Really, if you have to, fine. Tell me the story of where you think you're at. Not that you're going to be cherry picking or biased or prejudiced or thinking that I'm going to be interested in something, but yeah, fine. I don't
Um,
care how you came to be. I care about what the quality of our dance is now. How you got here, whether you drove a pickup truck or your pimp dropped you off. I don't care. We're here to dance.
um, you know, I,
Oh Lord. With that beard and that shirt and that head, and this is the best you can do? Really? Terrible. What are they teaching to these days in pirate schools? Jesus Christ. Oops. Sorry, Facebook. I'm sick. You have to forgive me.
How do we prime the pump for Max to get more present to his desires?
He has
I
to
wonder.
admit that he has desires first. He has to admit that he has desires that in his greatness he can't achieve himself.
That's beautiful. How do I evoke that in connection with him? I also
With that
experience
that kind of masculine, you hit him, and then you bounce back a couple steps and say, okay, what are you going to do now? He's either going to get huffy and he's going to leave, or he's going to be like, oh, fuck, okay.
I think what like that for the first time in my life, um, something like the first time in my life, I'm doing a lot of stuff without coming from a place of wanting external validation. And so often my advice seeking or support seeking was bound up in wanting validation. And
Are you so confident in your ability to create an amazing life that you don't want somebody else's eyes on it?
oh, um, it's a,
Jeff liked that.
that's yeah. I'm yeah. So I'm confident in the next step I'm taking, which is a precursor to
So was Jeffrey Dahmer.
I just quit my job yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I yeah, turned down a small fortune. And I am looking to spend some few weeks where I don't have any screens around and I cook every day, cook every meal for myself every day, learn to cook because I actually don't know how to cook. And then afterwards go on like a self-led meditation retreat, like a few weeks.
Sounds wonderful. You'll end up cooking and you'll have calluses on your butt. Hey.
And
so when you look in the mirror, that's the kind of workout you want that person to have?
the cooking and calluses on my butt.
Yeah. Yeah, that right there. Right there. That little cocking of your head, that little looking at it, and you're like, ah, shit, I've done it again, haven't I? And I'm like, yeah, you have.
What have I
You
done
bought
again?
into your smallness. Any idiot can learn to cook. Any idiot can go on a meditation retreat. The tell was you said you turned down a small fortune. You didn't have to say that, but you did.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're turning down something that the culture thinks is high value positive, then you're probably going to be going after something that the culture thinks is value negative. But you're doing it for better reasons. If you said I quit my job to go after a higher paying job, everybody would nod their head. But you being the pirate, you're going to quit your well-paying job and turn down the offer, and you're going to go spend a couple weeks cooking pancakes and stir fries. Woo! And then you're going to go do probably some insight meditation, which is going to help you do something somewhere. It's just if you complete the meditation, make sure they give you one of those plaques that you can put on the wall.
So, it's not in it's I don't even know which part to.
If Jeffrey Dahmer came up to you and said, I'm going to go out and do the things I like to do, would you say, oh, okay, that sounds like a good idea? Would you do that? If a pedophile came up to you and said, hey, I think I'm going to go out and do some more pedophilia because I like it. It makes sense to me. It's what lights me up.
I would.
If Trump said, I'm going to go grab a couple of women by the pussy because I like doing that, what would you suggest they do? I don't care. But why aren't you asking yourself the same questions? Why are you doing something simply because your character likes it? Careful, Jeff. That is going to lead you down a really nasty rabbit hole. What would you be pointing out to Jeffrey Dahmer, to the pedophile, to the other, to Trump? What would you be trying to get them to look at rather than I like doing this?
All right. I'm gonna meet you in this in sincerely engaging this question and
Sure.
trying to imagine myself in front of Donald Trump as he's talking about grabbing pussies.
Yep.
And um I I can't get over just like how bizarre that would be. And then
You're with a pedophile who's saying, I'm going to go out and do some more pedophilic activities because it lights me up. It makes me happy. I feel like it's my purpose. What are you going to say to him? Are you going to say, oh, okay, go ahead. Go have a good time? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. And are you
So what questions are you going to ask him? Because you're going to try to point to something other than it lights him up. It's his soul's purpose. You're going to try to point to those things and say, that's not good enough. The question is, why isn't it good enough? If what you're doing is because it lights you up, because it's your purpose, because it feels good, why isn't it good enough for the pedophile?
So you're pointing at like the impact on others.
Right? Everything that you're going to do will have an impact on others. I guarantee you.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the pedophile going to say? They want me to do it. They're going to rationalize their behavior just like you're doing. I'm not saying don't do what you're doing, but get off the bandwagon that I'm doing something because it feels good. Because there are lots of people around you that you don't want them doing.
Where did I say that it would feel good?
You learning to cook isn't going to feel good?
It might, but also being completely cut off from others for a few weeks before I go spend a few weeks in more social isolation is certainly gonna contain a lot of challenge. And
so there are how many
it's not gonna feel only and merely good.
How many people could you dramatically impact their lives in what you consider to be a positive way in 2 weeks? And yet you choose to go sit in your apartment and cook.
So first off, I'm abroad on a solo retreat for
I don't
basically
care. There's a bunch of people around you. You're going to spend 2 weeks in your apartment cooking for yourself. And if you value positive impact on other people, I imagine that you and I could sit down and find a way to create more coin of value positive impact on people in your 2 weeks in whatever foreign country you're in, than sitting in your room and cooking. I don't care if you're selfish. I don't care if you're like, I want to sit in here and watch TV and cook really good food for myself. I'm fine with that. I don't care. Live the life you want to live. I'm just challenging you right now because it's fun for me in this moment. To step off of that, I'm doing it because it feels good. Get down to the narcissistic reasons. Expose yourself to yourself.
That is, there's something there that makes a little bit more sense about your like line of challenge or inquiry, which I just wasn't really understanding or connecting to,
Mhm.
like what it is that you would have me look at. But here, I think
Mhm.
you're being more like specific enough for me to understand.
Thank you.
Uh,
I saw that you were a bit
and
confused, so I decided to dumb it down a bit.
thank you.
You're welcome. Uh-oh.
Um,
Colin's smiling. That's not a good sign. Oop, I stopped. Oop, no, we decided that stopping was worse than continuing, though.
um, I think that the the narcissistic uh, kernel inside of my desire to um, go on meditation retreat or go be alone, uh, as much good as I think it would do for people in the future, is yes, to reduce my own suffering and to make myself uh, like
Walk away from the suffering, Max. Just ignore it. It's not real. Suffering
well,
is
I
you believe that something shouldn't be the way it is. You're arguing
mhm,
with reality. Stop it.
that's right.
Stop it.
It's been hard, and the thing that's been the
Oh,
most
it's been
helpful is
illusional.
yeah, and the thing that's been the most helpful is uh meditation. Like
There's no
it's,
medication tends to take you further away from your suffering. It doesn't decrease the suffering. You still have the tapes playing. Yes,
um
if you take a Valium, you won't suffer. If you meditate, you won't suffer. Yes, that's true.
I don't experience um a Valium and meditation to be the same.
I know
But
that.
I also I also I don't really need like a, how do I say it?
I'm interested in what
Um
Colin would suggest, given Colin's background with cooking and mindfulness practices.
Oh no.
Suggest?
Or Max, what would you prescribe if you were the universe declaring it?
Uh, I don't know if he needs a prescription. I mean, it sounds like he's happy doing what he's doing.
Ooh, he's
Um,
clever.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't particularly see a problem. Yeah,
It's not a problem. He's looking for refinement. And we're hoping that given your expertise in the fields of cooking and in meditation, that you can help him nuance his approach to this. How about that? Does that work better?
hmm Um, I guess like my question would be like, what's the intended outcome? Is it to get better at cooking and meditation?
um the I mentioned the cooking piece because it's just like a way to poke fun at myself in that I've gone a long time without really learning how to cook, something other than like eggs and potatoes. So, but that's part of like it's a part of like a bigger uh, project of um, like just pulling back dependence and like the kind of consumption of relationships for feeling good. And so I'm just like kind of being alone, and there's a lot of things I'm doing while I'm alone. Um, and uh, and then the meditation piece is I'm just having a really rewarding experience deepening into a couple of different meditation streams, and like the jhanas, for instance, is something that I really want to taste and avail myself of, and then I want to come back. The piece I am interested in is like what could I do? What will I do after? What will I create after to um, um, you know make great benefit, use myself up, uh, create yeah what it is that most wants to come out of me. That's an open question for me.
Nice.
When do you come out here to the Bay Area?
Did you say when when to come out?
Why don't you come out here to the Bay Area to support with alignment
I
raffle?
I was thinking about it on my way back, swinging by, stopping by SF. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Maybe just getting like a yeah, one-way ticket there, um, without a without like a the next ticket to back to Austin.
I would want that with you.
Cool.
Easy dose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best advice or like push I could give in the refinement direction would probably be interject meditation as much as possible into the other things that you're doing, whether that's cooking or walking. But meditation is largely about generating, or not generating, it's coming in touch with the inner stillness, and an inner silence that's underneath everything, always. But we cover it up with thinking. And while you're cooking, especially if you're alone, you have the opportunity to really feel what you're doing from a tactile and like sensory position. And yeah, carrying that stillness off of the meditation cushion into cooking, into walking, and into moving through the world. If you're able to be very still during that period of aloneness, and very quiet with yourself, fresh thought, like truly new ideas tend to arise more easily from that place of silence and that place of stillness, which could be beneficial for coming up with whatever it is that you want to do next in the world.
Bullshit. You know, that's the adolescent masculine approach to what underlies reality. The feminine approach is that it's not still. That's the masculine approach. And it's very effective at doing what it does. And so that's just one half of it.
Right. No, I didn't mean that all of reality is still. But there is a place of stillness within us.
Yes, but why do you want to go there?
I mean, if
how
one
does that
hopes,
benefit you?
If one hopes to think new thoughts, and come up with something new, like usually if you're thinking all the time, then the next thing you think will just be a continuation of the last thought that you had.
Why do you want to come up with new thoughts? What's the benefit?
Well, he said that it was looking to kind of derive a new aim and a new way of being. I was excited as to what that might be. So coming from
I know that's what he said, but generically, why would anybody want to think new thoughts? What's the benefit?
I mean, a fresh idea. I mean, being tired of stale thoughts, being tired of the same thought loops.
Whoa, stale.
You know, those things
nice
that
try. There's no such thing as stale. Nice try. Nice try. Try again. Come on. Why
repetitive.
would you want to think? And what's the matter with repetitive?
I mean, it's nothing the matter with them. You've thought them before. If you're trying to find something new, if you're trying to find
I
something
agree
new,
with you.
wouldn't find it in it.
Why would you want to find something new? I don't understand why you have this. I need to find something new.
If you,
what's the benefit of that?
Change or transformation of your life. If you're looking for a new one, I was just applying it to the circumstance that he provided.
Good. And do you have evidence of seeing people who have engaged in these stillness places that they've come up with new ideas that have wreaked transformation and change on the planet? Is this an evidence-based practice, or is this a faith-based practice?
I mean, experientially, I find it true. I don't know what other people do.
Alright. So your suggestions of this are based on your experience with this. It's idiomatic. It's not a science.
Nope. It was referred to me as a practice from someone else that I respected, and it was effective. So I was just passing it along.
See,
It was
now there,
effective for me.
so right now, there's that for me, there's a little edge of the pirate that Max won't allow. Like there's to me, there's a little bit of cockiness, there's a little bit of irritation, there's a little bit of fun in you right now. And there's let's go, with you, I would be really happy to like go. I was in the Navy. Let's go into town and let's stir up some shit. All right. Now you look like the kind of person right now. It looks like you have that peace, well, whatever thing it is you have going on, the meditator glow. That looks really sellable. But the thing that I want for the planet is that other part of you. This world isn't going to change because a bunch of people are sitting around meditating, thinking up new thoughts. It's because there's going to be action taken. And it's probably going to be disruptive. And so if we don't have people who are willing to do the disruptive thing, I mean, my money's on we're going extinct relatively soon. That's where my money is. But if there's going to be a chance, it's not going to be with people sitting on a cushion looking at their navel. It's going to be people who are willing to disrupt the status quo in such a way that something new can come up.
Couldn't
You
agree
have
more.
to till the soil.
Said I couldn't agree more.
Then I don't see you helping junior pirate wannabes get their wings.
No.
I don't see that. I have
Okay,
a very
well
limited
then
view of
here's
you.
here's a great piece. I as much as I would love for there to be these like interruptive change makers, and this might be me playing small, but I am cultivating equanimity for what feels like is the coming absolute shitstorm of all shitstorms imminently in my lifetime. And the thing that's most important there is equanimity and presence, and that's the only way I'm going to be helpful to myself at
Do you
minimum.
fuck like that? I hope not.
With equanimity,
Yes.
yeah, there's absolutely equanimity in my experience
Oh, yeah?
as I'm fucking. Yeah, you should come check it out.
No. The Dalai Lama might be a lot of things, but he's not a hot fuck. Neither is that little German guy. I don't know anybody I know of one person. No, I can't. Maybe one person who claims to have equanimity do I consider to be a hot fuck. But,
Who's that?
there's a Dzogchen guy up in Seattle, Hunlop.
Justin Patrick Pierce.
I don't know.
Yeah, just he's doing a really profound service and bringing equanimity and but also connection, and it's not merely it's not I don't know, blankness or something. That's not what equanimity means.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
In my
But,
world, I'm interested in firing up the feminines, and they'll take care of it. But I don't know, a bunch of equanimous masculines sitting around trying to find the new thought that will lead them out of the chaos. Somehow, I don't think that's going to work very well.
I just
Certainly
think
didn't.
we're just describe like this, not using the word in the same sense or something.
Probably not.
Yeah. But what I was mainly getting at is inviting pushback on the worldview that's feeding the decision to go cultivate equanimity. Uh,
Crap.
it's a crap worldview.
It's you can't really. I mean, if you want to go do baby steps and go develop equanimity sitting in a temple someplace, fine. You know, equanimity. Do you think there? Return rate of fire. It's a military term. How much when the bad guys are shooting at you, do you stand up and shoot back? In the Korean War, it was like 60%. Okay, they got guys in the Middle East things. They had return rates of fire in the 90s. That wasn't because they were teaching them equanimity. They were standing up in the face of bullets coming at them and returning fire. That's what we need. Because there's going to be a lot of fire coming at humans, I think. Okay? It's not about standing up and going, "Om." It's about how do you deal with this stuff? How do you be the fire to meet the fire? How do you be the aggression to meet the aggression? You know, doing Trump the way that Trump's been being done, yeah, go stick the bureaucrats on him, and 7 years later, he's going down. There were a lot quicker ways to handle Trump, but nobody did it. Yep, Colin. Colin, please find a way to teach wildness. There's a guy by the name of Mike Cabajan. Mike, last name is Cabajan, Kabijan. He does this thing called Primal. He's up in Boulder. He has a bunch of people. He has a really big basement, and they come around and they basically act like animals. It's about embodying the animal of it. Get hold of him and see if you can, because I think that would be a really, I mean, you look like you could hold the space for that. Okay, all you'd have to do is go, and it's not, you know, it's not like it's trademarked or anything, but you'd want to fly up there to see how he does it, and then put your own spin on it. These people, you know, Alton and crew, could definitely use that. Now, of course, they're going to be little tiny cubs and kittens acting out their psychopathologies at first. But then you have to, then I think you could have them get bigger into it. So.
Thank you.
My pleasure. He's a really cool guy. So. Have you been to Boulder?
Yeah. Once, but
All right.
briefly.
Oh yeah, he's tied into a lot of the things that are going up around there. So if you're looking for clients or students or whatever it is that you do, he's well connected.
Nice.
Yeah. They
I
don't
will
need
message you.
cooks or meditators.
Gotcha.
That is so goddamn gorgeous, Colin. And I can, yeah, when
What?
when you actually have when there's an actual animal in your face, when there's actual when there's actual teeth, when there's the promise of engagement on other than an intellectual level, it's really sexy. It's really engaging. And I understand that if you're in Palo Alto, there may be a lot of people who have a trauma response to that. So your protective coloration is appropriate. Okay. 20 minutes. Great. Alton's frozen. That's one thing. What?
What is your take on things that are between meditation and wildness on that spectrum?
So,
like say like qigong kung fu.
I think it's all fine, except you get stuck in the practice of it.
Hmm.
If you're going to use it to edge your way into something, or you want to become a qigong master, that's fine. But the hard thing for most people to realize is, like the Dzogchen people say, you're already enlightened. You're just not having the experience of it. Don't focus on how to become enlightened. Deal with the shit that's standing in the way. All right. Same thing with the stillness. There is a stillness in there that underlies everything. I agree with you. Okay. Even in the feminine, there's a point around at which everything turns. That's the feminine version of that. Okay. And it's there all the time. The practice isn't going off to a temple and doing it. The practice is doing it in the marketplace. Now, if you have to go to the temple to get a taste of it, that's all fine and well. But unless you're going to become a monk or become a temple dweller, get your ass back to the marketplace.
Sensible.
Oh, damn. Jesus. Fuck. Sorry about that.
Right. I want your support on knowing how I can work more effectively with Colin and with Brandon.
You don't have the balls.
So accepting that as a potential reality. And then what?
How are you going to get a fire in your So I imagine that Colin or Max could sit there and you could dance with them in creating food or doing Tai Chi exercises or
Oh,
whatever.
we did that. That's great.
But
Here you go.
But yeah. But what the potential is that they have the hairy balls. Okay. Colin knows that if he puts them out there, that he gets a negative response from the culture that he's choosing to engage himself with. Okay. Max is, I don't know why, but he's like, what are you talking about? So
Did
Yeah.
that make it? Did that make sense? I didn't understand any of that.
Colin knows that he has hairy balls, and it's in his best interest to hide them at this point in his life. I don't think you understand that you have hairy balls. Jeff's are hairless. Alton's are hairless. Brandon's are hairless. Okay.
So we grow hair by.
You have to. Do you think Colin is afraid of what any woman thinks about him?
He's afraid of what? Colin's
Do you
been
think
like
that he-
incredibly connective and like vulnerable in his shares.
I'm asking you a question.
He's afraid.
Do you think that in his belly, Colin really cares or is deeply impacted by what a woman thinks about him?
Thinks distinct from feels.
Same. He doesn't. He may make a show of it because that's going to get him more coin. But fundamentally, he knows that he is an entity onto himself. Females are fine. They're delightful. They're fun to dance with. La 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 la. But if a woman doesn't get him, that's because the fault is with her.
Is that all from you? Must have a relationship with Colin.
No, I'm just making shit up.
All from this call. Yeah. I admit that I do care. There's still some caring about women and how did you put it to them, that impact? Like caring what women
Yeah, but
think about me.
that's your kid.
No,
You know that a woman, her highest good is to follow you. Not to be dumb, but to let you cut the path. That's what you're good at. And she can help, she can polish you, she can point out stupid things, but fundamentally you're an entity onto yourself. And it's more important what you think about you than what she thinks about you. If it comes to betraying yourself, she will die.
Lee, can you connect this to how to retire early, which is one of Brandon's goals this year?
Brandon just needs to suck better dick. That's all. He's good at it. Brandon knows how to work the system.
That's going to generate
He's
a
just-
cash machine to retire?
With Brandon, I doubt it might be a cash flow stream. It's not going to be a lump of cash.
Yeah.
Okay. And the difficulty with Brandon is that he really doesn't want to sweat.
That is accurate.
Yes.
Mhm.
So now, given all of the
Bunch of-
non-sweating activities that you need, that you know how to do, which one can you leverage to make you the biggest stream? Now you gotta be careful, Brendan, is that you're not going for the lump sum.
Oh yeah, I gave up on that.
So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Good. So
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
So
He just needs somebody to frickin' hit him with a poker every once in a while.
what does that look like?
That's like you have to be knowledgeable about what he's doing, about what he thinks he's doing, and you have to get some higher level masculines.
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
are
Do we know
quick- who
people
can
who have
crit-
regularly gone from 0 to 1 in companies? That's something that Brandon.
You're not interested in going from 0 to 1. You're interested in masculines that aren't too far outside of his cultural norms, who can critique what he's doing in a way that's meaningful to him.
Yep.
He's going to want to do the lone wolf thing, la 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 la, and that's going to take him 6 years to do this bullshit. If he can actually find somebody that he says, this person has good insight. I don't like it because he keeps trying to make me sweat, for fuck's sakes. That's how you get him to move faster. He's not going to move faster on his own. See, Max, it's just about having surety.
As I say, everybody want to be a bodybuilder. Ain't nobody want to lift no heavy ass weights.
Nope. Jeff has his kind of weights. Colin has his kinds of weights. Do you have your weights? I have my weights. Those two have weights. We all don't like to lift them.
I kind of like I'm
If you
the
kind of
most-
like it, then they're not your weights.
There we go. Well, meditating.
Equanimity and fucking. Jesus Christ. Try being an animal.
It's like an animal that there's like one toehold on reality.
No, let go of the toehold. Be your balls. When you're next in bed with whoever it is, try to judge them correctly. Say, I want to go full tilt bonzo. I'm not going to break your skin. I'm not going to break any bones, but I want you to be the uber feminine receptacle for my animal masculine.
I'm not going to break your bones. I'm not going to break your body. You got to keep a toehold. There's got to be some part of you. The feminine gets to lose it. She gets to be annihilated.
Okay.
But I'm like all but annihilated.
No, fine. You really think you're going to break somebody's bones? Well, I'll do everything but cut off your head. Okay. I'm going to keep that toe in reality. Kind of bullshit is that? You're not going to cut off anybody's head during sex. You're not going to break any bones during sex.
Brandon, I'm curious, why do you want to retire early? What is that about?
Mostly it's removing the cognitive load of figuring out where and how bills are paid. That's the main core thing. So not having to think about needing money to survive, because that just unlocks a whole realm of like, okay, like living towards building long-term things without this extra bit of persistent cognitive load of, oh, bills.
How much are you like? Are you really sweating it now? Like, do you have any savings?
Yeah, I mean, I have savings. Yeah, and I
You have
think
savings.
technically I have.
Translate what he's saying into a 6-year-old. What's the 6-year-old saying that I want to retire early?
I don't want to think about working.
I don't want to work. I want to play.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the 6-year-old. What does your adult think about work?
I don't.
Whoa, that's a hell of a good question. I've only approached work for my 6-year-old up to this point.
I think it's complicated in the sense that, like, I
It can
spent.
be.
In
What
the
does your
sen-
adult think about the concept of work? What are you going to teach your children about the concept of work? You're up in front on stage.
It's necessary to get to the goals that you care about.
But why do you have to work to get to the goals? Can't you play your way there?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's the focus that I currently have, and the approach that I currently have is I believe that it
So
should
what
be
does work mean to your adult?
currently. It means only doing things that feel expansive and building things.
Why is that work?
Well,
You
that's
go
why I
to a
said it's
meditation
complicated. It's
retreat.
like, from what frame are we answering from, right? There's like an
From
older.
whatever your adult wants it to be.
Well, I guess for the sake of discussion, I mean, it helps to align on a definition.
Cray, what do you think about work? How does your adult relate to work?
My adult doesn't relate to work. I do what I do.
Right?
Yeah, do you think it's because you found something that like is like
I told myself the story and now I'm living it.
Yeah, so my current version is I just do what I want. That's my current version.
That's fine.
And I'm the goal is to fire through the way that I'm currently operating.
Yeah, so then why make it about making money? Why make it about retiring? Why not just say I'm doing what I want to do and the bills will be paid or they won't be paid?
Because the desire is that I don't want to think about the question whether bills are paid or not.
Why?
Because it's cognitive
Speak like a
overhead.
6-year-old.
The cognitive overhead that comes with it.
Speak like a 6-year-old. Why don't you want to think about bills? Seems to me that as an adult, bills are part of the business of being an adult.
Yeah, I agree.
You pay for things, you give for them. Who can why would I not want to worry about bills?
Because I think it's possible to get to the point where that isn't a thing we think about.
No, unless you're paying somebody. Every time that you buy something, there's the knowledge that you're paying out something.
Yeah, so
Now,
it's
you can have $1 million.
Sure. It's the
Good,
difference
so-
between like the baseline costs as opposed to the like aspirational purposes, optional purchases.
I think what Cray is getting at is something, and correct me, is like that an indifference to paying bills is a consequence of being engaged in life in the way that is most harmonious between
No,
you.
is different. It's my personal choice. It may not be the way that everybody wants to live. But what Brandon seems to be saying is that he's got an idea about what work is, about what paying bills are, that stem from a childhood interpretation of those things. What he saw happening in the way of work and bills being paid, to me, bills being paid is a value neutral thing.
Sure.
It's like shitting.
Yeah.
Yep, we got to get up and shit. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
There you go. But
Mhm.
am I going to? I could focus my diet on just having good shits.
Mhm.
I could. Harmonious shits. But it's not how I choose to live my life. I choose to live my life by saying, yeah, it's like coming on here with Alton. I don't like doing this. And it's like, it's okay. I don't like doing this for 2 hours every week. I'd rather be playing a video game. I'd rather be sleeping. And there's a lot of things.
Oh wow! I
And so
just feel like
because-
what an like like thank you, because I mean this is I'm getting some benefit out of this, and also like what a dick kind of thing to say.
Why?
I just like, why are you doing something you don't want to do? Like
Because it's the right thing to do. Oh, gee whiz, I've had a hard day. The baby is screaming. Fuck that little bastard. Let him scream. Why should I pay attention to my feelings? Why should I when I was a kid, God, I went to a Life Spring. It was like Esther, it's an Est with a heart. Okay. Landmark, as they call it now. Okay. And there was a point where I saw people like being comfortable with each other. I was serially sexualized by a whole lot of people, mostly men. When I was a kid, I was handed out as a party favor at sex parties. Okay. And so I developed a relationship to where I didn't want to touch men. I don't want them touching me. If there was an elevator that opened up and there were 4 men in there, I'd be like, I would point to my belly and I'd say, I really should take the stairs. And I would go take the stairs. I was in Life Spring and they were talking about a bunch of shit. And I'm like, why am I being a prisoner of my history? Why am I letting my history dictate to me in terms of feelings and meaning making about how I am in the world? And so I did a bunch of exercises. I had sex with men, la 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 la. And now I'm quite comfortable being physical with masculines, males. Why should I pay any attention to my feelings? Why are they holy? The only reason that you have feelings about things is because you have an historical interpretation of them. If you didn't have a historical interpretation of this, you would have no association. You'd be like, what the hell is that?
do you mean though, like, why should I pay attention to my like aversive negative feelings?
No, positive.
So then
Okay.
how do you
Here we
do you
go.
know so how do you know what's right? You're doing what's right. Is it because it's a
My
feeling?
philosophy. One, there is no right. There's in alignment with the life I want to live.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
And there's no feelings in there?
There's plenty of feelings. I just don't have to pay attention to them. If you've ever seen me eat a really good Italian meal, you'd be like, there's a shit ton of feeling there. Okay.
How do you how do you
I don't let them tell me what to do.
So then how do you access that vision
Practice.
of life and philosophy?
I made it up. This is what I think a person like me. This is okay. So this is the fucked up part. When I was like 14 years old, one of my classmates said, it sounds like you're trying to figure out the way that all humans should be better. And you want to live that way. And I'm like, why not? Now, just because you don't want to live the life I want to live, that doesn't negate the physics of it. I'm interested in the physics. That you like peanut butter on your toast and I like butter? I don't give a shit.
Well, I asked because I want to. I'm curious for myself, but also for Brandon. Like, yeah, how it is that he could access something that I would think feels, whatever
He
it
would
is
go
that
find his daddy and stick a
he-
knife in him. He would go find his mommy and fuck her up the ass. Something like that. I don't know. Who cares? In his vision of who he wants to be as a person. Right now, he's being told that work is something, that bills are something. And this is very common in all of our monocultures. There are certain things that we just believe. We don't question them. Bills are onerous, whatever. Okay? Doesn't have to be. Bills are just bills. You don't have to feel about them anything.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel them about anything. I just don't want to think about it.
Well, who's preventing you from not thinking about it?
The fact that they start becoming due.
Then you pay them and then you don't have to think about them anymore.
Yeah. I know. I want to
Am I missing something?
I want to eliminate that need. perpetually.
You'll always have bills to. Oh, so you want to make enough money to cover the expenses that you have without you worrying about where more money is going to come from.
Yeah, that's. I think
Alright.
that was what I was trying to say, but yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
Can I go? I'm sick. I have an upper
Wait, what?
respiratory
You're gonna leave us
infection.
on a cliffhanger here? I'm
Cliffhanger. You guys have been on that cliffhanger for your whole fucking life. It's nothing new. Jesus Christ. You think anything I can say in the next 5 minutes is going to do anything than stroke them, Alton? Really?
well, absolutely. I have the last 5 minutes. Is that?
Yeah, I think Alton absolutely believes that. Yes.
Yeah, he's in fantasy land. Oh, he's got a little doggy. I have 2 little doggies way away in Maine. Alton, can I
Okay.
go? Is that a yes?
Okay, you can go. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
He's out, so he's like hovering over the exit button.
Hi.
Just finished a work meeting in time to have Prey want to leave.
Got it. I was not aware.
You-
All right, I'm gonna stop
You
off
missed him
the,
by
live log
2
here,
seconds.
and then we'll talk.